Welcome to the Business for Breakfast seminar series presented by Huddleston Bolin. Business for Breakfast seminars provide very practical information for business people on topics ranging from sales and marketing to customer service, employee relations, technology, and accounting. For information about upcoming seminars, go to www.huddlestonbolin.com/events. Today's seminar is Increasing Sales by Effectively Targeting Your Market. Our speaker is Thomas McChesney, Director of Marketing and Business Development for Huddleston Bolin LLP. Co-sponsors for this seminar are Huddleston Bolin LLP, the Small Business Administration, and SCORE. I am Thomas McChesney. I'm Marketing Director for Huddleston Bolin, and on behalf of Huddleston Bolin, it's a pleasure to have you here. This is the Business for Breakfast seminar series that we sponsor with SCORE and the Small Business Administration. It's a series that we run every other month in Charleston, and we also run it in Huntington, and then recently have expanded it to Southern Ohio and Ashland, Kentucky. The topic today is targeted marketing, and it's something very easy to waste a lot of time, energy, and money on bad ideas and bad strategies. Basic law of marketing, and this is not good news for a small company, but the basic law of marketing is the big guy wins. The company that has more resources, whether it's time, energy, money, or people, wins most of the time. That's just the way it goes. We always like to think about the underdog, and we always like to think about the little guy winning. But in head-to-head competition, the little guy loses almost 100% of the time. That's the bad news. The good news is that the basic law of marketing also says that the company that wins is the one who can apply more resources at the given point of the decisive battle. So, we have the same big company as we did before, but now we apply those same resources. We apply them in a very, very focused way. We pick the point where we want to fight, not all of the points where we could potentially fight. A flanking strategy, right? So you have big guy, and the big guy dominates what they do, but what they don't see is that there's new opportunity out there, and so little guy claims that space. And that new opportunity could be looking at your clients a little differently. That instead of trying to be a dentist for all people and compete on kind of the broad range of services that you could potentially offer, you carve out a niche where you are a dentist that specializes in women's dental care. And everything that you do is focused on women's dental care. Your office is decorated so that it appeals to women. Your marketing, your advertising, everything that you do is focused on women. And you will never win on all the other stuff, but you can win right there. And in the grand scheme of things, that's really what you care about. A couple of things that I just kind of want to lay out for you. It is, first of all, better to be first than to be better. And the battle that we're fighting is not so much on the street corner as it is in the mind of the consumer. You want to be that business that your ideal customers think of first, second, or third. Once you get past that, they don't think of you. So part of the objective is to identify what it is you do that you will be able to be number one in the mind of your consumer. When I say, I'd like a soft drink, what do you think? What's a soft drink? Coke. Is it surprising that Coke has the vast majority of the market share of all soft drinks? Coffee shop. Starbucks. There you go. I mean, those companies have spent a lot of time and a lot of money to be that thing that you think of. And what that means on a practical basis is that you are going to be more likely to walk up to a line of soft drinks and grab a Coke because you think Coke. When you order at a restaurant, you don't say, I want a dark caffeinated beverage. You say, I want a Coke. The principal questions on targeted marketing, first of all, you have to know yourself. You have to understand the market, know the customers, and know your competitors. Again, the goal that we're going to have here is to define what you can do better than other people in the minds of your prospective consumers, or what you can do to be first to market. Because those are the two things that win. But ask yourself, what is it that you can do better than your competitors? If you could picture the best that you could be at whatever it is you do, what would it be? And to put a marketing slant on it, put that in the perspective of your customers. What would your customers say is the best that you could do? Years ago, one could have been first to market, or relatively first to market in the legal industry in West Virginia, had one gotten into the oil and gas industry, right? And we're a firm established in there 5 years ago, then you dominate right now. If you're first to market, you are by definition the expert there. If they think of you first, you're going to win more often than not. And this next point is actually the most difficult for almost anybody, but it is also the most critical. You have to decide what it is you're not going to do, because it is impossible to say who you are and what you do until you say who you are not and what you do not do. If we think about that, it's very simple. We don't have infinite resources. We don't have infinite time. We can't do everything. But there are, and you know companies like this. There are companies that basically will work for food, right? And it could be any industry. So we talked a little bit about knowing yourself. And the second is, it's very important to know your market. And a lot of these are things that we kind of, when we think of advertising and marketing, it's the things that come to mind. But geographically, where is your market? Same thing we said before. Unless one has significant resources, one can't say that my market is everywhere. And the fewer resources one has, you have to start slicing in some ways, and geography is a good way to do that. So where is your market? Think about who your ideal customer is. Some other thoughts about the market. I think we all have to be very honest with ourselves about the life expectancy of the market that we're in. How is the world going to change so that your market will either die or change? And then think about the macro events that are impacting your market. Okay, so let's talk just for a minute about customers, because it's, as I said earlier, and I'll say this at least 2 or 3 more times, the only thing that matters is what's in the head of your customer. I mean, how many of us know, how many of us have said, how in the world do those boneheads manage to sell so much stuff, right? Whether it's product, service, they're not that good. Their stuff breaks. As accountants, they're great dog catchers, right? They're just not that good. How is it that they always manage to sell stuff? It's because the decision isn't made in our heads. The decision is made in the buyer's head. And so the better job we can do understanding our customer, the better we're going to be able to target what it is and what we say so that it speaks to them in a very personal way. Okay, so we've done all that. We've looked at who we are honestly. We've developed a better picture for who our customers are. We've developed a better picture for who our competitors are. And then finally, we then, with all that information, decide how we're going to get out to our customers, how we're going to get our message out. And if there is one piece of advice that I would leave with you and ask you to think about is, if you can on a notebook-sized sheet of paper, if you can write down the names of your ideal target customers, the answer is very, very simple for you. Call them. That's it. Ain't nothing fancy, right? If all the other stuff that we do in order to promote ourselves and all we're doing is leading up to the point where I can walk up and say, "Hi, I'm Thomas. Can I talk to you about getting your business?" But I want to give you at least some picture for how we use different media. Then you have things like billboards that can tend to be very similar to broadcast. Billboards are interesting because they can also be very targeted. And this goes back to what we were saying earlier, if you know that your customers are likely to be driving down this road, then a billboard there can be a very, very targeted way of speaking to them. And social media this advent of social media is really allowing people to very, very tightly target demographic groups.